Greetings and welcome back. My apologies. I moved my microphone stand after I unmuted my mic. Woo, that was loud. All right. Well, we have remembered that last week I forgot to turn on the Matrix. We were monitoring the live channel for active stream on a Matrix. For anybody that wants to comment over there, I forgot to charge my keyboard over there, so I can't type as quickly over there. I will read them at least. I may or may not type back in response to them. We are also monitoring on the Tubies, on Odyssey, on Rumble. We are also on the Lost Stepchild called D-Live and Twitch. I don't really pay much attention to what's going on over there. I think there's still one guy over there on D-Live who's jumping in and screaming obscenities into the void. I hope he's having a good time. I don't know. But anyway, as far as basic general announcements, we got overwhelming positive feedback on moving the stream last week. We will move the stream to Thursday at the beginning of May. So we will continue to have a Friday stream tonight on the 18th and the 25th. And then after that, then the following week, May 1st, which is a Thursday, we will be moving the Weekly News Roundup to a Thursday night instead of a Friday. And so we'll see how that goes. While we do that, we will also do a little bit of a format change in how we do the show. So I'm looking forward to that. And I don't have all the full details about what all that means. But 8 o'clock Thursday, May 1st, we start moving it over to Thursday. The next couple weeks, it will remain on Fridays. So that will be the little bit of a change that we see. And other than that, I think we are pretty good. Let's go ahead and check in on our comments here. See if there's anybody over here on... I don't see anybody over there on Matrix quite yet, although there's still a lot of craziness going on. Please note that the topics for the various threads are there. If you want to come in and debate all sorts of weird random stuff, that's the general channel, not the Linux channel, please. Okay. So anyway, and if you're a person jumping in there just to try and stir stuff out, we'll probably boot you out of here sooner than later. But just so you know. Just so you know, we're not here causing controversy. We're here to have a good time. So anyway, Commodore fan on the Tubies. We got 18 watching on the Tubies. Hello. Greetings. I hope that I must have accidentally hit the YouTube channel to start at 9, not 8. I noticed a little bit of an error there, so I don't know. But anyway, let's see. The Hammer of Thor is here. Greetings, Ivan. No, it is at 8. Things change this for 8 or 9. Yeah, it's at 8. I think I probably set the YouTube one at 9 accidentally, and I set everyone else at 8. But on the YouTube channel, I got the thumbnail right, and I put the wrong thumbnail on the other ones. I put the thumbnail for the edited version on Odyssey and on Rumble accidentally. So goofs all around today. Absolutely. Why not, right? So yeah, apparently I goofed up. Of course, Christopher says we can't all be as perfect as Bill Gates, although that is what I am striving to surpass the greatness of King Gates. Anyway, Silver Adventures, greetings to you. It's like saying I don't want to be a malware creator. I just want to be a great at telemetry collections programmer. There you go. Yeah. I don't want to steal your data. I just want to collect telemetry. Come on, man. Think about the weekend and making whipped cream with vanilla. Ooh, and Malibu coconut rum. I can probably do without the rum personally, but Malibu coconut coffee? I don't know. That sounds good. Just brewed my Jim Beam vanilla flavor coffee. Ooh, man, that makes me hungry for coffee. I've had my 2 coffees. I'm doing a lemon and ginger tea today is what we have for our tea. Anyway, so we got over there. Got a new wireless mouse to replace the malfunctioning wired mouse, though. It says it requires a Logitech unified receiver. Got to remind myself to re-log in to get my user added to the right group. Okay. Let's see. Got a London Fog using Lady Grey vanilla and milk. Ooh, and having an iced hazelnut latte with milk. That sounds good. Caramel iced coffee tonight. Man, everyone's doing all sorts of good stuff. Noana, greetings to you. Hello, Night of Light. Apologies for any confusion about our time. Let's see. We got a couple folks over there on Matrix. Evening says, is that Draymar? It's like the light on my studio. There you go. I just got to cover my studio light like that when I'm going to read the names. It's like blinding me. Can't see your name. Cheesy Cakes over there. You expect people to talk about stuff in the respective channels? Are you crazy? Well, I know, but we're just doing the gentle reminders, and then we'll slow a bam hammer in your face if you don't comply. Why not, I'm not a free speech absolutist here. I'm sorry. I think free speech means, I think free speech means that everyone has the right to come to the table with an idea. It doesn't give you the carte blanche to copy and paste blithering nonsense all over every internet place there is to cram it. I don't know. We can have a deep discussion about that sometime, but it's kind of fun. Anyway, friendly, yes. Discovered a flaw in KDE. Copying is slow. Mate, copying is fast. All right, there you go. All right, 21 watching on Z2Bs. We got 7 watching on Odyssey. And let me refresh Odyssey. I'm only seeing Ivan over there. Let's see if there's more people than Ivan. Nope, just Ivan over on Odyssey. We got 14 watching on Rumble. Hello, Dan. Greetings. Blue Jin's over there. How's it going there, Blue Jin? And that's about it. So, anyway... we do have a little bit of a different show tonight. We booted out the business section because you can imagine every single thing with business had to do with tariffs. Or the world is ending, even though the stock market's already recovered most of what is lost last week. Great time to buy in, folks. Great time to buy in. But the reality is of all that, everything dealt with tariffs, price changes, and everyone pointing their finger like Spider-Man in that whatever crazy Marvel movie that I know the meme, but I've never seen the actual movie it comes with. And so I kind of dropped business altogether. We're done with that. We're not talking tariffs tonight, folks. This is a tariff-free stream. Free trade over here, folks. Free trade over here. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump on into our news for this evening. Okay, let me just make note where I am here. All right. Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. Hope you had a wonderful evening, a wonderful weekend, a wonderful week. I will get this eventually right, folks. I'm going to go ahead and restart. Does that sound fun? Because, wow, did I goof that up. Whew. All right, that's so bad, I'm actually going to go in and delete that. What is that? 8:14. Oh, that was today's. I forgot to delete today's video, too. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's go ahead and try that again. Whew. Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. These are recorded live Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only, though, for the next 2 weeks. We are going to be moving the live show to Thursday night. We got some overwhelming positive discussion about that last week. And we have just been talking about making a couple of different changes, a little bit of a change to the format of the show in a couple weeks as well. So we're going to do that, and hopefully that goes smoothly. And we just kind of had a discussion. There's so many good streams going on Friday night. I figured I'd go ahead and just bump myself back to Thursday, and we'll see if that is beneficial or not. And hey, if it really sucks, we'll move it back to Friday later. So we're just testing some new fun things around here. So that'll be May 1st is the first of the Thursday shows if you want to catch the show live at 8 p.m. So for, right now, we're doing the next couple weeks as usual, and then we will be changing some things around, which we will discuss on that day later on. So with that, we also have a different and a shorter show today. We kicked out business this week because it was all about tariffs, and this is a free trade show. No discussion on tariffs today. How's that? Does that sound awesome? I know y'all are probably sick of it, or you just don't follow it at all, in which case you don't want to hear about it one way or the other. So we do have a little bit of a shorter show. We got privacy, security, AI news, and SillyVille. Totally odd. I'm going to totally mess something up today, so bear with me as we move on. But with that, let's go ahead and jump right on into the news with the privacy sections. I forgot to do my titles. Knew I forgot something. What do I want to do? This is a horrible show tonight, folks. Horrible show tonight. I'm going to go ahead and stop and do the titles, and we're going to get back to our comments. Oh boy. It's been a weird week. It's been a weird weekend. Weird everything. Weird all around. I always forget something, right? And so I completely forgot to do my titles, and that all messed it all up. So I'm going to have to do that whole intro again. You guys are going to be sick of it. Everyone's going to leave. Everyone's going to unsubscribe. It's going to be horrible, you know, but oh well, that's okay. We'll go ahead and do it. Maybe we'll try and streamline it for the next time around, right? So anyway, talk amongst yourselves, and we'll go ahead and get these, because the titles, we put a lot of time and effort into making these titles awesome, guys. So we got to get the titles in here, right? Although you generally only see the last one, but check the thumbnail. So if you want some good comedy gold, have a look at the actual timestamps that we put in the edited video. Then you'll actually see some really cool, really funny title names in there. Okay, this second one is security. All right, our third one is AI. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and check in on comments one last time before we jump in here. You guys can all yell at me here. We'll get that taken care of, and then we'll go ahead and actually get started again for the for real. I'm sorry about that, guys. All right, there we go. Okay, titles are done. Hopefully that didn't mess up our OBS settings. Let's see. Close that. Close that. We got... Oh, of course it messed up my OBS settings. Why wouldn't it mess up my OBS settings? All right, let me fade to that, fade back, see if that fixes it. Nope. Where's my title? Okay. Come on, where are you? Title, privacy. Okay, there we are. Security, AI, and silly. Okay, we are all set with our titles now. Let me check in, do another quick check-in on comments here. Well, we got a false start. Well, that was a bad false start. All right. Location not found, LOL. That's right. Location not found from our titles, too. Trump seems to be winning with the tariffs, yeah. The whole Nintendo Switch 2 launch just keeps getting more crazy. I haven't followed much of that. Jillery is a Lurkin. Greetings, Lurkin. Is that who's been hanging out behind my green screen laughing hysterically every once in a while? Max Server, live is fun. That is right. The Duct Tape Productions are here. Finally started writing again after nearly 9 years. Awesome, dude. That is totally cool. I'll be teaching at a writers conference in June. That sounds fun. All right. Independence isn't looking so hot now, eh? JK. All right. Do we even qualify for a chance at a pre-order from Nintendo Store? You need to have an NSO account for 1 year and 50 hours of gameplay? Oh, my Lord. What? Hello, KO2610. Your number has been called. Continue playing Phantom Detection or Xenoblade Chronicles. There you go. How will it affect me getting hardware? I don't buy a lot of stuff as it is. I like that whole minimalist idea. It's kind of fun because I look at this and laugh and go, I'm not really looking at buying a whole lot of stuff. So, okay, you can raise prices. Maybe it'll just rattle the rest of America out of rampant consumerism, right? Would that be a good thing? All right, let's go ahead and get started for real this time. How's that sound? All right. My apologies. You'll have to hear that intro once again, folks. And let me delete the old false start. Oh, I already did. Good. Welcome back. Oh, recording error. OBS. OBS, let me start the show. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. These are recorded live Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only for the next 2 weeks. After having a discussion with everybody and discussing it on the stream last week, everybody agreed Thursday is a fine night for the show. And because there's so many other great live streams available that sometimes people have to pick and choose, we decided we're going to move our stream to Thursday night for the Weekly News Roundup to give the other streamers a chance to have some of the audience there as well. So hopefully that works out for everybody and you can catch the show live. Hopefully you can continue catching the show live if you do catch it live, or you will be able to catch the show live if you like us, but you like somebody else a little bit better. So looking forward to seeing how that performs. We're also going to be doing a little bit of a format shift on that same week, but we will explain more of that next time. Now into the news for tonight. This is going to be a little bit more of an odd news. Everything is related to tariffs, and this is a free trade stream. We're not discussing tariffs. You're either sick of it or you don't care about it, so we're not talking about it. So we booted business section out. We have privacy, security, AI, and SillyVille, and that is it. So it might very well be a short show, which is great because we got off to a late start. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive on into our privacy news first. And this one starts out with a Malwarebytes. The responses to a survey, they said 72% of people are worried their data is being misused by the government, and that's not all. I originally saw this and I'll throw this out because this is just a survey based on people's opinions, not really based on, this isn't actually like, I don't know, some actual report that a whole lot of governments were found. But it was really a fascinating report because it really just kind of goes through. Now, they released a survey, and I think that the general population is significantly lower than these numbers because this was a survey done by the Malwarebytes newsletter subscribers. If you're on Malwarebytes newsletter subscribers and interacting with a comment, you're probably a security, probably a privacy-minded person. You care about these types of things, and so what ends up happening is you're going to be a little bit more favorable. So I think that the results of this survey are skewed way more towards privacy than the general population is. However, that being said, we are seeing a lot of people in the general population becoming a lot more aware of this. Some of this probably is because of all the rampant consumerism that people are buying on to the idea of privacy. And so all of these alleged privacy-based services are popping up where, I go on the internet and give every bit of my information to some company and they pinky promise to use that information to get my information off of other people's sites. To me, that just sounds a little odd, but hey, it very well may work. In fact, we have evidence that it does work. One data breach did not actually include data from people who were subscribed to one of those services. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I'm just a little bit too paranoid. Where's my tinfoil hat? All right. All that being said, however, the proliferation of VPNs, privacy companies, but then we're seeing a lot of news articles that are even now starting to get covered by mainstream media sources, and this is prompting a greater privacy argument. So while I think the numbers are much lower than the Malwarebytes report is confirming, I think it's probably a little bit higher than even they I would guess it would be otherwise. Now, all the rest of the article kind of went through a lot of the more recent things, from data breaches on the different platforms, the 23andMe situation, and then there's, of course, a mistrust. Of course, if you're here in America, 50% of the country thinks that the current government is the Antichrist at any given point in time. Even if, the elephants leave and the donkeys take over, still 50% thinks that the government is the Antichrist. It's just the opposite 50% than previously thought. And so everybody mistrusts everybody all the time. I mean, that's just par for the course as we go on. But what the arguments here made is that there's so many privacy bungles going on that it's actually causing more people to be aware. Now, what they're saying here, this is privacy concerns drive people away from platforms. Again, this is a response to a survey in a in a malware research company's newsletter. Okay, this is not Gen Pop. You walk down the street in any given city and ask these questions, you're gonna be like, I got nothing to hide, is what you're gonna hear more often than not from anybody. But among the people who are more conscious of privacy and security, that would be subscribing to Malwarebytes newsletter and responding to surveys inside of it, yeah, we are actually seeing a number of people leaving social media platforms because they are concerned about privacy and data being used. Not just social media, but also they pointed out fertility and period tracking apps as well, because if you remember back a number of years ago, this guy stomps on into a Target and starts yelling at the customer service for sending his daughter, like teenage daughter, coupons for like baby stuff as if she were pregnant. He's like, my daughter's, going into all this kind of stuff, and it turns out the daughter was pregnant. Target figured out she was pregnant based on the buying habits of the data they had collected and compared it to other people. And they knew she was pregnant before she knew she was pregnant. That's the type of stuff we're talking about that should cause a little bit of awareness. Kind of like the same thing with your Shoppers Club cards. And when Seattle, King County out in Seattle, wanted to raise more funds, they cross-referenced the people buying pet supplies on Shoppers Club cards with the people living inside their city who had actually bought a pet license. And anybody whose Shoppers Club card showed up as buying pet supplies but didn't have a pet license, they started sending threatening letters to those people. These are gross violations of privacy. And these are those issues. So you can see here 42% use a VPN. Again, you're not seeing 42% of the general population using a VPN. Okay, this is why I think that these numbers skew way more into the privacy section. But it's certainly probably more than 10 or 15%, maybe even more than 20% are considering or using a VPN on a regular basis. So that really is the point of the article, just to show up and basically show what was going on. Now, again, we were going to think about, like I was hemming and hawing about throwing this article out, but then this was just the perfect lead into the other two articles we had in the privacy section. So I thought it was great to cover. So the EU, they're all calling for, we gotta solve a bunch of stuff. Well, the EU, though, they are calling once again to backdoor all encryption. Now, the good news is France, one of the EU nations, took a strong stance against this and said, no, we can't do that. But again, it's protect the children, and the law enforcement can't get the data that they need, and we have to be able to tap into any system, and we pinky promise it's going to be an amazing, safe system, kind of like the Teleco backdoor. That's the system that allowed police to get warrants to spy on your phones, is what the Chinese hackers were using to collect everybody's phone records across all of the nationwide carriers. So, the reality is that there is no way you can make a backdoor on encryption that only the law enforcement can use it. Nobody else can. And even if that is the case, now you have to deal with the fact that there's corrupt cops in this world. Okay. And they're in America and they're in Mexico. There's some countries I've heard about when you drive through, you need to carry mug money with you to bribe the police when they try and shake you down. Okay. And so that is a reality in our world. So even if it's only the police, we have a security hardened our back doors so well, only the police can get in there. The hacker will just come in and give the police officer a $1,000 tip to let him in. And that's the type of stuff that happens and why this is pretty much nonsense. But of course they're going out, protect the children, protect the children. Although I do notice that they did take down a major ring of nasty folks without having to backdoor the encryption. And they were all Tor users. They took them all down, arrested hundreds of people across the world. The idiots were using cryptocurrency. They thought that it was untraceable. Hint, it's not. Okay. But they were able to take down that whole nationwide ring without breaking encryption. So stop giving us this nonsense. Now, of course, where else are people scared about their data being used? Oh, that's right. UK is now experimenting with Minority Report. Yes, UK is creating a murder prediction tool to identify the people most likely to kill. I saw a documentary on this once. It was starring Tom Cruise, right? Now, in the Tom Cruise movie, though, they had these precogs that were basically the mentally ill children of drug addicts, one particular drug, right? If you follow the lore on the movie that closely, then what would end up happening there is that the children were born mentally ill with amazing telepathic like foresight, and when you put three of them together, they had synergy off each other, and if all three of them agreed, then it made this this specific ball that was identifying the pre-crime. So they had the pre-crime division, and most of the people that are watching this channel probably have known or seen or are familiar with this. So of course the idea is that the police go in and they bust the guy right before he commits the crime. Well, they're doing it basically like that, only rather than using drug-created precogs, instead what they're using is just the data that they're collecting everywhere. All of the data, and remember, these are guys that just forced Apple to open up all of their encryption to backdoor everybody utilizing Apple products who are UK citizens. And so now the UK government has collected and sopped up so much data. They're feeding into AIs, they're feeding it into algorithms, and they are trying to analyze which types of people are more likely to commit violent crimes so they can more preemptively help the people. So if you preemptively go and help somebody because you say, well, our computer algorithms have determined from the data that we've collected and analyzed that you are probably likely to commit a major crime, but you haven't committed it yet. We're just going to go ahead and commit you to this little insane asylum now, and now you're in that unfalsifiable circumstance. You're either crazy and you're declaring you're not, so therefore you're crazy, or you're crazy, right? So no matter you're crazy or not, once they point you out, you're a crazy person, because you're either crazy or you're denying that you're crazy, and the denial of being crazy is all the more crazy. That's the problem. Okay, so UK is trying to create this murder prediction tool to identify people most likely to kill, and the cornerstone of it is the massive amounts of data that they collect and analyze off of people. So that is wonderful news, isn't it? Aren't we all so happy about UK's newfound way of utilizing that backdoor encryption that they finally got access to and told Apple to stop decrypting stuff. And with that, we are going to jump on over to security news next. So first up in security news, of course, as the tax deadline is looming, of course, I'm a small business owner, so I have not completed my taxes yet. They're actually in the hands of my accountant. I should have them in the next couple of days here. But as that occurs, okay, as that occurs, scams always rise on these. So now we have just a new take on an old scam. This is the QuickBooks phishing scam. This year, they're doing a novel approach. They're doing the malvertising approach. So they are utilizing Google Ads to land you on landing pages, and they've identified a number of these fake landing pages that look like the QuickBooks login pages. So you'll see here, this is QuickBooks with, look at that extra C, and this is really Quick Borks, Quick Borks there, right? Accounting.com/home. You get in there, and of course they're using the modern technology that is going to bypass your potential attempts to 2FA. So here's what they're doing. On the first one here, you enter your email, user, or phone. This is exactly, I guess, like their login page. Enter your password, and then they want to, hey, verify it's you. And so what's going on here is they are using the information that you just supplied them. They are trying the account, and then what they're doing is they're waiting for you to input the code, and while they have this little circle screen here, that's them intercepting the message from you, feeding it in on their system, and now they have successfully logged into your Intuit account, and they can do all sorts of fun, nefarious things. And they have found that these phishers are able to get in here quite easily, and they've identified a number of these. They all look kind of like QuickBooks on a quick glance, but Quick Box, Quick Borks, Quicker Books, Quiff Books. So you can see that they're just off by a couple letters or so, but if you're just looking very, very quickly, then it looks legit. So just be aware, guys, if you're trying to do QuickBooks on an internet search, particularly if you're not running ad blockers, then you may very well click on one of these malvertising campaigns and end up giving a bunch of data to the hackers. And that's not going to turn out well for you, by the way. And on to this one here. Google has a new end-to-end encrypted messaging system, only it's not true end-to-end encryption. In fact, the way they're doing this end-to-end encryption, just like Microsoft is doing we're protecting your passkey for you, really they're protecting their passkey for you in such a way that allows them to decrypt the messages. So, when the UK police want to come in and investigate that message you just sent, they'll be able to decrypt it. So they're calling it end-to-end encryption, which is by the purest definition, maybe technically true. It's just an end-to-end encryption that other people can kind of get in there and see it as well. So what it's doing is it's starting the encrypted message. Now, this is tying into like a Gmail account. Typically, this is running towards like a service attached to a business accounts, like the Google business accounts. And so you have your Google business account, and they're using here Bob's organization. So we'll go ahead and continue on with this Bob motif here. So Bob goes in and constructs an email and clicks a button for encrypting the message. So they're creating then a symmetric encryption key, which is stored on the company. Bob's organizational server. The message is encrypted and it goes out to Alice. So Alice receives the message, and once she has verified herself through whatever method they're using, which means that it has to be a message sent out to some participating party, either a Gmail or probably an Outlook, something else with some form of authentication, then Alice can click the button, and once it's identified or verified, authenticated is the proper word, then it will reach back out to Bob's organizational server, grab the decryption key, and then it will decrypt it. So it's way easier than other forms of email encryption. But the problem is that decryption key is sitting on the organizational server. So any administrator who has access to the decryption key, which is, by the way, a Google server, they all can get in there and decrypt the message as well. And so it's not true end-to-end encryption, but it's another one it's sort of safe as long as the call is not coming from inside the house. But of course, the call is coming from inside the house, because this man over here is accused of using keyloggers to spy on colleagues to log into their personal accounts and watch them at home like a crazy psycho stalker. So he is a pharmacist at a university here, University of Maryland Medical Center. So what Matthew did here is he installed keyloggers on at least 400 computers that were tied to the university, everywhere from computer labs, clinics, treatment rooms, all those types of places wherever he could get in there and install a keylogger, he was doing it. And he was specifically looking for young ladies' logins, and he had collected many young ladies' logins, and then went in there and spied on the young ladies through their logins, whether it was accessing their dating profiles to see their pictures, or accessing their security cameras to watch them in the act. Or any other thing in between those two things. Now, there's 6 particular people who have been so far identified here, and they had lost information. Basically this pharmacist got information for bank accounts, emails, home surveillance systems, Dropbox accounts, Google Drives, dating applications, Google Nests, and iCloud accounts. So the guy went in there and was able to access all these. Now, curiously, the people are not necessarily suing him, they're suing the university. I think this is kind of both parties are kind of guilty. Yeah, how is this pharmacist able to install malware on 400 computers by the university and nobody noticed? And how did he even gain access? How did a pharmacist, like, if this were an IT guy, I could see it. This is a pharmacist, okay? So Interesting. So they're basically alleging that the schools were the problem here on the basis that they did not do enough to prevent the keyloggers from being installed. But I still think that the guy's the one ultimately culpable because he installed it and then he collected and used the information the way that he did. He said he used webcams installed on work computers for telehealth sessions to spy on new mothers pumping milk at work. Ugh, and did the same through their home webcams. He spied on victims with their children at home and also watched them. Yeah. And then he is said to have disabled the camera's operating lights so victims could not see they were being viewed. So this means he does have a degree of sophistication in what he's doing. So, of course, how to protect yourself. Malwarebytes always includes this type of stuff. It's all the same general stuff. They copy and paste it all in. I don't think really much of this is super applicable. Just be aware, guys, that even if you do the best security you can possibly do, you still have a whole lot of people inside your organization. But come on, we're laying off our entire staff and having AI take over everything. Yeah, somebody's going to get around those AI protections. I promise you. I promise you. So there is what we have as far as our security news. So if you want to help support the channel, we do use affiliates. Today we are highlighting Pro Writing Aid. If you use my affiliate, tlm.li/PWA, you can get 20% off the which one? Not the free one, of course, the yearly edition of the paid or the paid pro version. Those are the 20% off the yearly subscriptions. Or you can get, I'm not sure if there's actually discounts applied on the lifetimes or not at this point in time. But that either one of them will help support the channel if you're interested. So I use Pro Writing Aid as a good privacy first writing tool to help me with mostly my editing and things like that. They do have some AI prompt stuff. I don't use that stuff, but as far as the grammar and the edits and things like that, I use all those functions in there as I'm working on editing books, which our next short story, by the way, is under progress as we speak. So we should have it out by the end of the month. So you can help out with it over there if you are into writing and you want to check out Pro Writing Aid, tlm.li/PWA, 20% off of your yearly plans, premium or your premium pro. And they do have the free plans you can try as well if you are interested. And with that, let's jump on over to AI news next. All right, let's check in on comments first. We got 53 watching on Zatubies. Let's try to stop scalpers for getting their consoles and reselling them at crazy prices. Yeah. More crazy than they currently are. Yeah. Maybe tariffs would be a good thing for Americans being addicted to buying too much stuff. I agree. I'm like looking around going, I'm not super affected. I mean, I'll buy new stuff if stuff's breaking, and that's about it, Okay, War Thunder made it. Greetings. You ever used Jammy service, something like WhatsApp, Telegram? No. Let's see. He has no power over state taxes, just federal. Yep. All right. Let's see. Bad Leroy Brown. Target. We sell things for your closet, and we will force you out of the closet. Hey, man, they were doing a lot better this year. Come on. Wish there wasn't a border, but not under any flag, under freedom. Literally no borders, no tariffs, pure freedom. Nah, dumb idea. Let's see. Yeah, I goofed up with the time. Yep. It was me. Blame me, man. Blame me. Most people have no idea about a VPN anyway. And those that do know about a VPN, 99% of them think a VPN will protect your privacy as you log into your Facebook account. Nope. A VPN is to be used when you are connecting onto unsecure networks. That is the only protection you're going to get. Geo restrictions, of course, and get around those. So, use Malvad VPN at home at times and on my phone out and about. Great to meet you. Another week, ready for another burrito. Why are the children online? That's a good question. Yeah, poor parenting decisions. There you go. Minority Report. I need to watch that movie again. Absolutely. My second thought was a psychopath. Psychopath or psychopath? UK is screwed. I'd get out of that country. All right, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help you not commit a crime. That's right. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Girl made a raft and made it back to England somehow. Oh. No dark corners, China credit score. Cameras are always watching you. There you go. I love how everyone said 2FA would fix everything. Yep, and no, not at all. Never been hacked, but I have been locked out of an email and a PayPal transaction because of suspected hacking. I lost the email in the end. Just logged in from another country when traveling. Use the service and encrypt the message and paste it and send it. Even if they get the key, they still cannot read the message because it was encrypted outside. There you go. I have friends that still use Yahoo Mail. Yep. All right. I was actually trying to buy one Bitcoin of $70. It wouldn't let me because I was in the U.S. from Canada when doing it. No. Let's see. Man, that YouTube comments did that thing again. There you go. Probably would have sold it when it reached 1,000, so I'm not too upset about it. Yeah. Say I'd have no plans to travel outside the U.S. anytime soon, that's for sure. Yep, I'm kind of with you there. Tom, the pharmacist, should go to jail. Maybe he likes milk and cookies. Buy most of the electronics used, yeah. Do you think Tor will survive Trump funding cuts? Most likely. Might be propped up by a bunch of illegal activity, but I don't know. All right, let's check in on Matrix. All right, let's see. Oh, we got a lot of activity over there on Matrix. Lots of stuff. Cheesecake location not found. Going to be a long night. There you go. Settle in. Shoppers Club cards. Sell your stuff for a sell yourself for a 5% discount. Yep. STL still live. Yes, I am here. ABJ4403. Greetings. And I remembered to check in on Matrix tonight. I forgot to pull the laptop out last night. Ooh, is my keyboard working? Let me see if my keyboard's working here. Either that or the no, let's give it a try. Ooh, my keyboard's working. Yay! I can actually respond to comments now. My keyboard's back up online. Sweet. All right. Let's see. Of course, we ran out of comments over there, so I don't have anything to do with it. Those things are clearly designed to spy on you, to keep your eye on what's going on. Yep. Because they don't work 90% of the time. You actually need them. Yeah. Bill and Elizabeth, Simple Live, free here. It's in home in Florida and Virginia. They have cameras in each house to connect when they're not at one of them. Yep. Yeah, their cameras do have their purposes. I actually had 5 security cameras around my house when I had my house out west. And I did have them angled. That if they were angled just a little bit differently, I would have caught several car accidents on them. I had a lot of car accidents out in front of my house. Fortunately, my cars were inside the gate, behind fences, and I had like a tall 6-foot fence, so I could lock it out so you couldn't see my car back there. It was totally fun. All right, those were the good old days. Rex is over here on Odyssey. Tor, fish in a barrel. I do my taxes with paper and a pencil for a reason. Yep. Revenge of the Nerd. But Tom, X is totally open to keylogging too. So's Wayland. All right, let's see. Hello, KOKick. Greetings. Just switched from Bitwarden to KeyPass XC on Nextcloud. So far, so good. Awesome, man. Yeah, VPN is for jellyfin downloads and for documentaries. Yes, documentaries that are available. Absolutely, I agree. All right, there you go. How do I know they're actually off though? Wait. Yeah, and I had my cameras of were they accessible from the internet? I think when I first had them up, they would have been accessible from the internet, but later years when I still had them running in the old apartment, they were only locked behind the VPN. So I had to VPN into my network in order to get to them. Yep. All right, let's see. People just keep the cameras on. Yep, there you go. Yeah, for documentaries, that's right. Just keep telling yourself that. All right, let's jump on over to our... Let's see. What do we got next? AI news, we said, right? Wow, it is going to be a really short night, I think. First up in AI news, the Shopify CEO tells teams to consider using AI before growing the headcount. This new policy is insane because, all these guys like, AI is not going to take anybody's jobs. It's just going to help support the jobs we already have. No, their new policy, they actually say the teams must demonstrate why AI cannot perform a job before they are permitted to ask for more hires. So literally, the default position at Shopify, if you are a manager of a team, you have got to prove to the managers, to your leaders, that AI cannot do the performed task before you are allowed to ask for somebody else. So stop telling me that AI just supports the jobs we have. They're not taking jobs. Yeah, they are. They're taking jobs every time a CEO comes down and says, hey, use AI instead of hiring this person. Why? Well, the AI service is like a, $39.99 a month subscription, and the employee is like a $39,000 a year subscription, I mean, that's really... the reality of it. But of course, that's kind of what's going on. Now, this is what I thought was really hilarious down here at the bottom, because if you remember, was it it was 3 weeks ago, I was over at Fresh Vintage's house when Klarna comes out and it's like, hey, you can pay your DoorDash order with Klarna, right? So I can go ahead and break that cheeseburger delivered by DoorDash into 4 easy payments. Goes down as smooth as a milkshake that you bought with DoorDash. So Sebastian, whoever his name is, the chief executive of Klarna, has boasted about how Klarna's AI chatbot does the work of 700 customer service agents. He also said that thanks to AI, Klarna's workforce could eventually be reduced to just 2,000 people, and Klarna currently employs 4,000. Okay, so let's talk about this. So right now they employ 4,000 people, but he says that their AI chatbots does the work of 700 customer service agents. So they should have 4,700 people working there. But thanks to AI, they only have 4,000 people working there. That means 700 people have lost their jobs. Then he says it could eventually be reduced to 2,000. So that means 2,700 jobs are lost to AI so that Klarna can continue to split out your cheeseburger and milkshake payments into 4 easy payments for your overpriced DoorDash. Meanwhile, you're complaining about how high the prices are. The poor man can't get ahead. The poor man ain't ever going to get ahead as long as you keep financing a cheeseburger. Okay? Come on, folks. Come on. But yes, it is true. AI is going to take jobs. As of 2024, Shopify had 8,100 employees. The year prior, they laid off 20% of its staff. January, they reportedly quietly laid off employees in its customer service division, according to Business Insider, because AI is indeed taking our jobs. But not everybody's jobs, as we will see. Before we get into that, though, of course, we have these stupid Know Your Customer rules that should be abolished, because all the Know Your Customer rules do is make it much more difficult for those of us to do services with privacy in mind, and it just empowers more hackers to get out there and steal more of your IDs. Well, this guy used ChatGPT 4.0 to create a replica of his passport in 5 minutes, and that passport passed the automated Know Your Customer verification checks. And so this guy comes out, it's like, oh yeah, well, thanks to ChatGPT 4.0, now we can basically just create passports and scan them through. So they basically say here that all of these automated Know Your Customer checks, they're all just meaningless now. So that's great, because now we just need to have more people verifying everything, which basically is going to make it harder to do anything at all. But that's exactly what they want. Eventually, it's just going to be a very nice and easy device. It's just going to be this one little simple verified authenticated chip that you're going to put it in your hand, or if you don't have one, in your forehead, and then you'll just wave that over to engage in any form of commerce you need, and they'll know exactly who you are. Of course, you will now be a servant of Satan and have the mark of the beast, but that's a different story altogether that you can read about on my Christian channel at Our Walk in Christ. Okay, so with that being said, though, the ChatGPT can indeed come over here and create these. Now, once he released this report, the OpenAI did a little tweaking things, making it much more harder to have ChatGPT create your passport for you. So there you go, guys. Know Your Customer is dead because ChatGPT took care of that one as well. And of course, we did want to mention here the case where AI is not necessarily taking up jobs, and we do have another guy that's facing some legal issues, and he's unfortunately facing some legal issues for fraud because he had an AI shopping app called Nate. If you remember anything about Nate, I don't remember if we've talked about it in the past. This was one of those it was supposed to be like the first breakthrough agentified AI. You use your Nate service and it's going to scour across the internet and make all these purchasing decisions for you. It does all these different things. Well, as it turned out, Nate had no AI working at all. They had effectively their AI automation rate was effectively zero. Everything that was being done in the app was just being done by Filipino contractors. So you go into, you're using Nate, you're like, hey, Nate, here's my credit card to go and buy me toothpaste. And like Nate goes out and does this thing. You're like, this is awesome. The AI has just bought me toothpaste and all this kind of crap. Meanwhile, it turns out that Nate was just feeding the information down to a Filipino boiler room, and the Filipinos were taking your credit card and processing all of the orders and delivering everything out, kind of like Amazon had the stores that you'd walk in and you'd grab stuff and you just walk out, and then some people are like, why is it like 4 hours before I get my final bill and it's finally charged? Well, because they didn't have any AI cameras going on in the background. All of that video footage was being shipped on down to another boiler room, probably in the Philippines or another country, where they were just watching every person going in and out and kind of making the best decisions, and every single thing was being done not by AI but by another third world country boiler room. So it does turn out that AI does tend to actually be good for the job employment. It's just the third world job employment where people can pay an entire boiler room like $5 a day to split amongst themselves in order to do all the tasks that they're claiming is all AI. So of course this guy's going to go to jail for a while for fraud, because after all this kind of stuff fell out, the entire stock crashed. They had raised I think they said in 2018 they raised $50 million from investors, and then they recently raised another $38 million led by another VC group. And then when all this kind of stuff comes out, effectively their stock drops to zero because there was no AI stuff. And so now all of these partners are going, I think you kind of defrauded us, Nate. We'd like our money back now. And that tends to send these tech CEOs to jail. So I don't know, maybe he'll get a nice little room with that the lady of that other tech medical startup company. They can kind of work together. They can maybe share a jail cell and then pop out of prison at the same time and come up with the next greatest thing that's going to dupe the next round of VCs. And then we'll just go ahead and proceed like every other one of these big fintech startups do, where they just get out there, get a bunch of VC capital, live on the Ritz for about 3 or 4 years, burn through all the cash, and then claim bankruptcy and just wash, rinse, repeat. And that kind of is why we have a big problem with crap in this country. So there's what we have there, folks. And I think what we're going to do next is jump on over to your favorite place and mine. Let's go to SillyVille, folks. We have to talk about KFC all the time. I know last time I left you with that article that has turned me off of KFC. I'm just not going into KFC for a long time. After that whole cannibals baptizing the dude in gravy and then, passing him around while chanting praises to the golden egg, I'm just not all into KFC right now. Y'all done me in, okay? I loved KFC. I'm not shopping at KFC for a while. Bojangles all the way, folks. Bojangles all the way. Maybe some Popeyes. I don't know. I am not into KFC, but it's just the meme on this channel at this point in time. KFC does so many crazy things, and we have covered every crazy story KFC has ever done, so we're going to have to cover KFC's new Kentucky Fried Chicken flavored toothpaste. Blah! Blah! That's disgusting. Nothing says good morning like the smell of mashed potatoes and 11 herbs and spices on your teeth, right? Oh, so yeah, Kentucky Fried Chicken toothpaste, folks. And you can have a look over on the website. Is it his High Smile, I guess? I don't know. Here's the KFC toothpaste. And you can see that's all sold out, unfortunately. It was like $14. So it's $13. Or look at this, 4 equal payments. At least they're doing Afterpay instead of Klarna or whatever that crap is, 4 even payments. That's right, guys. You can now finance your Kentucky Fried Chicken toothpaste for easy payments of $3.25. Or you can do $13 all up front. What's that? 3, 3, 4, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's actually 25 cents cheaper if you use Afterpay. Isn't that funny? Very interesting. With the club membership price, you can, it's $19.99 per month. Is that 1 or 2? I don't know. Is it $13? Or if you break it up, it's 25 cents cheaper and it's $7 more if you are on the subscription service. I have no idea, folks, but this is Fingerlickin bad. Ew. Of course, you can also get the toothpaste, which they are also sold out of that. I don't know if they've ever sold these. So here you go, $59. You can get the KFC electric toothbrush. Nothing says good like that nasty crap. Isn't that gross? Well, on to a next one. Another funny thing about AI is it doesn't understand the nuance of human society. It can't catch sarcasm, and it doesn't really know what jokes are, which is exactly why Google tells us to put glue on pizza to keep the cheese from falling off. Because it doesn't understand that came from a Reddit post where somebody was trolling. Somebody said, my cheese keeps slipping off. So it's like, hey, can you try some glue? And the Google's AI says glue must be the solution. Well, now we're seeing a new thing with all of these AIs out here now scouring over and creating all of these factual summaries. And you see, this world has this major problem called April Fool's Day, which I'm not a huge fan of April Fool's Day. I'm just not a jokester. I'm not a practical joker. And I am very, very careful with all my news articles from April Fool's Day because you don't know what's true and what's not. You really got to do that extra due diligence of vetting things, and that's exactly what AI never does. So this is a guy who every year, like he has a big blog, I guess, and every year he just puts up joke articles on April Fool's Day, but Google's AI picked up on this April Fool's joke and started feeding it into its actual algorithms, and now the entire world thinks that this one little town in Wales has a population just under 50,000, holds the Guinness World Record for the most roundabouts, which is not true. He completely made the story up, made up a random number, threw it in there, and then made up some fake quotes from individual people. And Google picks it up and starts reporting to the entire internet that, and I don't even know, how do you pronounce this? This is in Wales, yet it looks like it's spelling somewhere else. CWMBRAN. I have no idea how to pronounce that, folks. Call me a pasty American. I don't know. But this town in Wales, population just under 50, it does not have the most roundabouts. But I will say, in my travels this year, I saw the peak insanity. I saw a roundabout on a bike trail in Florida. What is wrong with you people in Florida? Roundabouts are stupid for drivers. Now you want a roundabout on a bike trail? Anyway, so AI does not understand the nuance of jokes. It doesn't understand what April Fool's Day is, and telling it to fact check itself is not always a good option. As you tell it it's wrong, it tries to hide itself more and more. So this guy is actually concerned that, yeah, if this happened to me, maybe we should be a little bit more concerned about AI because it can't protect the nuance. And by the way, this article was from a while ago. This is not a new article. It just somehow picked it up. Whatever reason. So that's what happened with trolling the AI there. I feel like I lost an article, but I'll check on that, and it'll be a bonus for those watching live if I did actually miss an article in there. But if I didn't, anyway. But if you want to help support the channel, we do have a Patreon page, patreon.com/TOMM. You can jump on over there. We have various levels of support. You can, for $5 and up, you can download the Code Red, the last year's edition of short stories in the audiobook or the EPUB edition. If you are a $5 or up subscriber on Patreon, you can do that. So patreon.com/TOMM. Thank you for watching, and hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. All right, let me check if, did I miss an article in there? I feel like I missed an article. Oh, I did miss it. I missed the second article. I did. Sorry, guys. Here it is. Yeah, Kawasaki has new rideable robo-horse. There you go, folks. So now this is all still speculation. So this video here is all CGI, but they're alleging what this is going to do. Turn off the music in case there's anything there. But here's a dude. Look at this. They're like riding these things. Does this thing look like those like beasts that they're riding in Lord of the Rings? The orcs riding Lord of the Rings. They kind of look like that. But here you go. They can go ahead and do all of this kind of stuff. So I go over the canyon. Of course, all CGI. I think that the goat is actually real. This is a real demonstration of something people can ride. Of course, it's a goat head, so make of that what you want. Antichrist, excuse me. But, you know. So, and eventually later on, somebody gets over here. Oh, look, now it's rolling. Okay, I've never seen my goats do that. Later on in this video, somebody, oh, there you go. This person's actually now riding the goat. It's the Antichrist himself riding the techno goat into battle. And how slow it is. This is why they lose. Okay. But there you go, guys. There you go. Then this is the first model of it. This is the working prototype right here. There you go. So yeah, indeed, I did. I apologize. I forgot an article there. So Ivan, when you're doing the news, take note of that. The timestamps. Take that one out. I forgot. Anyway, there it is, folks. There it is. Let's go ahead and check in on our comments. If I can find where my comments went. I got my whole desktop here all out of whack trying to search for what did I forget here. Anyway, we've got 49 watching on Zatubies. Just a reminder, if you guys just jumping on, in May 1st is a Thursday. We will start doing the news live on Thursdays instead of Fridays. Just a heads up on that one. All right. Don't mind me asking, how did you sell your house? And why did I sell my house? Well, I sold the house a decade ago. I sold the house a long time ago when I moved back to Pennsylvania, and I just rented when I was in Pennsylvania. Moved into the van because I wanted to see the country. And indeed, I've been to every national park in the interior except for 2. And I'm planning to take care of those this next year. Hello, Fresh Vintage. Greetings. How's it going? Mark's on. Greetings. Let's see. Is it illegal if I own a bunch of DVDs and want to rip them onto my media server? That is a totally untested theory. The laws allowing format shifting say yes, but the laws with encryption say no, and nobody has ever had a case big enough that anybody wanted to test it. So the true answer is, in America, we don't know. So decide for yourself. Now, if you're not distributing those or putting them on the internet for a hacker to find or whatever else, unless you're really making it known, you're probably okay. But at the same time, you really want to look at all of the different rules and laws and make your own determination on that one. So really the answer is there's 2 conflicting laws and nobody has tried to reconcile which one takes precedence. I know for sure entry-level tech support is shifting overseas big time now. Yep. See more benefits than negatives, more jobs and businesses are created thanks to AI. Completely wrong. Completely wrong. That is so totally wrong. It makes me question your sanity, my friend. Okay. There are very few jobs. Very few jobs are created because of AI. The only jobs created because of AI, to Bill Gates' credit, yeah, power industry has to have, AI has to increase power. So we have a lot more jobs in running more power plants if we can ramp them up. But if we move back into nuclear, again, fewer people per kilowatt hour, I guess. Other than that, there's not a lot of other jobs. You cannot, point to me to multiple jobs that are created thanks to AI. That I completely disagree with you. Let's see. I hate that use my bookkeeper and tax lady uses Intuit TurboTax. Fire her. Hire someone else. Or tell them to switch. That's probably a better option. All right. Spectrum AI use chatbots now. They closed 3 Spectrum call centers and stores in my area. I know a column tax exists, but there are any others? I'll have to column tax and other. Wait, column tax and others. I'll have to. I mean, I use GNU Cash. All you need, if you have a competent accountant, all you need is a P&L. Okay, all these guys are like, you gotta have QuickBooks and give me your QuickBooks file. Find a new accountant. Okay, I trust them as much as I trust somebody who says, I know how to do WordPress, and he hits the one-click install button on the back end of your, your Quick software on your hosting account and installs something from Envato. You're gonna have a hot mess on your hands sooner rather than later. Let's see. If an AI can do your job, you must have been freed from slavery. As now I look at how I worked in auto, I wouldn't wish more auto jobs were created. High pay for a robot that wrecks your body. Anyone complaining about the lost jobs probably never worked one. Well, the point is, though, is that we still need such jobs. Okay. Yeah, you're right. It's not the best job. But it's certainly a job that people can use instead of brainwashing people to go right to college after high school. If you don't know what you want to do, send somebody into those types of jobs when they're very young and their body can handle that, and they'll kind of figure out pretty quick what they want to do based on process of elimination of what they now know they don't want to do. And you can have a lot of younger people moving in and out of those factories, staying there for 5 years, gaining some experience, and then moving on to better things. And that still boosts the economy a whole lot more than what we currently have, which is every job out there wants 5 years of experience, even for programming languages that have only existed for 2 years. And that's the reality, Let's see. Can a mod please link his Christian channel, please? I'd like to check it out. If it's not down there, I will include it. Just stick to the end of the chat. I will put it down there when I get to the bottom of the chat. All right, only politicians and talking heads hold this jobs up as a marker of some progress or crap. Like right now, though, our jobs are on the increase. It's not because of AI. A lot of it's because of manufacturers coming back here. Imagine declaring bankruptcy, and one of the line items on your bankruptcy filing is a $5,000 of Klarna payments for DoorDash you didn't actually pay off. Well, actually, that's one of the problems we have right now is these short-term debt systems. They're not reported to credit agencies the same way, and so companies trying to assess risk for debt do not have an understanding. We don't have a way to measure how many of these short-term payment loans you actually have. All right. Chats, what's this stream about? The news. Why are we talking about KFC? We always talk about crazy KFC. Radville, I think you joined us during SillyVille. All bets are off, my friend. Instead of KFC, then try Guyanese restaurant and get some Guyanese pepper pot. There you go. For chicken, Chick-fil-A. There you go. All right. How about Zaxby's? I have not had Zaxby's chicken. I'll have to find a Zaxby's somewhere and give it a try sometime. I tell you here about fried chicken ice. Whoa, shut up. I don't want to hear about fried chicken ice cream. I want the toothpaste now because I love the taste of chicken. Oh, God. Any creature morph. Something's wrong with you. Two cats usually getting along fine, but just had to break up a fight, put one outside to stop the bleeding on the other. Uh-oh, kitty cat. That's right. These kitty cats like, nope. All right, let's see. Roundabouts are safer than stoplights. My U.S. Department of Transportation. I'm not sure I agree with that because every roundabout I've been in every country, in every state, nobody knows how to drive in them. It's crazy. Roundabouts are great entertainment in my town. I've even considered a live stream from some of my local roundabouts to the doofuses. Yeah. Kind of milk and cheese do robot goats produce? I don't know, man. Not a fan of April Fools. It's hard to tell if they're real or fake. Yeah. Just don't pay attention to the news on March 31st and April 1st. Yeah. Maybe even April 2nd. I don't know. Zaxby's is not as good as it used to be. You're not missing much. Zaxby's okay, but Bojangles is better. Yeah. All right. I'll put in the Christian thing down here for those that want that. It's going to be YouTube. We are on YouTube, Odyssey, and Rumble as well. But it's Our Walk in Christ, OurWalkinChrist. So Our Walk in Christ. Okay, I think I got that right. So that's the Christian stuff. 60 watching over there. Let's check in on... Check in on Matrix here. See if there's anything new over on Matrix. Wait for AI to find out about the Babylon Bee. Yep, there you go. Okay. Okay, a little harder to find where I was at over here. There you go. Yes, we are on locals as well. It's switchedtolinux.locals.com. Wait for AI to find out about the Babylon Bee. Yeah. All right. There we go. All right. And checking in over on Odyssey. We got 12 currently watching on Odyssey. Not Waylon. No, there's some. Clear, sir. All right. Mr. Mod, what's the Matrix link? I think we have tlm.li/Matrix, I think. I think that link works. But you can search us up on Switch to Linux as well. Oh, there you go. Thank you. Thank you, Ivan. Yep. Oh, God. No, those ridiculous rapture lectures. Keep your religious nonsense yourself. Hey, man, we're having fun here. Deal with it. Besides, you will bow your knee to Jesus one day or the other. All right, 31 watching over on Rumble. Amos, we need AI safeguard laws in order to protect jobs. Yeah, or we'll just all get UBI, paid for by the profits of AI. So don't see the stream channel on Matrix. Really? Huh. Kind of toothpaste no one will brush their teeth. Must be a novelty item. What if April Fool's Day is actually April 2nd? We've been fooled the whole time. Oh, man. Go fact check yourself. Sounds like something I would like to say to fake news. Tom Brady is the GOAT. There you go. All right. I watch sports ball, but I'd say you're correct. Why do you check Rumble last? Is it because we are the best? Of course. No, it's actually, it's because it's the last tab in my browser. Switch Linux would like to see you and Lunduk chat on a live stream. I don't know. I'll have to reach out to him sometime soon. I keep on saying that, but I'll have to do that. Yeah. Let's see. Just ate KFC. I'm sorry. You might have been actually eating people there. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right. I think we've gotten to the bottom of everything. Oh, you had it earlier in the week, so you're a cannibal now, too. All right. Good to know. Ivan's a cannibal. Right. I think we're going to go ahead and feed the beast and call it a night. So let me grab this beast here, put him up there, and we will go ahead and grab the beast food. Switch that off. Do that. Come here, buddy. Come here. Want some kitty food? Yeah. Want some kitty treats? Do you? Come here, buddy. Here you are. Bink. Come on, buddy. You jump down. It's up here. Kitty food's up here, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on, kitty. Come on. There you are. Oh, you're going to block the other kitty, too. Of course, I did just put you there, huh? Here you go. Oh, you fell over. I wish the other cat wasn't blocking the view, because the cat in the back there leaned up to get it and fell over backwards because it was out of her way. It was quite hilarious. All right, let's see. Have leftover coleslaw. The coleslaw is really good, I gotta say. Had Arby's for the first time in 2 years. Ooh, Arby's does sound good. We don't have any Arby's around here. All right, guys. We will catch you guys all later. Let me do one final check over here on Matrix, since I forgot about it last week. We got time for the Van Panthers and the Kitty. This is AB. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. Tomorrow, we will talk a little bit about the Thunder Mail service and my thoughts about that coming up. That'll be tomorrow. We also have a video for you writing folks on Writing Done Right tomorrow morning. And let's see, anything else? Nope, we'll be back next week. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you all next time.